Alright guys, Hutchcrabber here today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far with the final weekend of Major 4 qualifiers just around the corner with a very difficult start indeed for Toronto Ultra. Is it possible that they decide to make some sort of roster change over the coming weeks? Some rumours have been circulating that Cammy could be out, Scrappy could be in. Is this a possibility now or over the next couple of matches? Very much enjoying your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. Really upset the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that one. Plenty of juicy stuff to dive into today. First, I wanted to mention this real quick from Breaking Point because they say happy birthday to Shotzi. It was his birthday yesterday or the day before or something, and that's because Ghost of Hope mentioned some details about the new Call of Duty game, right? Modern Warfare 2022, the Warzone whole thing. Of course, people generally haven't been the happiest with the movement, maybe, like at least some of the pro players over the last few months. There's been a lot of talk from the likes of Scump about, okay, the way the movement works nowadays, can we not have the slide cancelling, this type of stuff, right? Now, of course, you might well expect, going back to a Modern Warfare setting, that it is just going to be a copy and paste of Modern Warfare's movement from 2019. Now, apparently, it's even going to be even worse, right? So, as Ghost of Hope says right here, like apparently people who are not happy with the most recent movement in Modern Warfare are not going to, well, even going to be less happy, I suppose, with the new game, saying that, well, it's taken the movement and pacing to a new level. It has more movement mechanics and is even faster paced than the game back in 2019. So probably implies there's more slide cancelling, there's more just cracked out stuff. You maybe don't move quite as fast as you do in Vanguard, but there's still going to be slide cancelling probably. There's also the dolphin dive thing. So yeah, just some kind of comments really and some ideas on what the movement might be in Modern Warfare 2 and not taking ourselves away, as of course we expected from the slide canceller, which I'm sure, Simba, BZ, maybe Illy and Shotzi as well will be rather happy about, that they can go back to a Modern Warfare game that is rather similar to the game, of course, they won the World Championship on just a couple of years ago. This also is coming up this weekend, as Crone says. The Boston Challengers Open is this weekend, of course, big name players in attendance, Clayster's team, Proluke, Capstall, Scrap, of course, Brustini, Dave Paddy, etc. Guys like Classic as well, and of course many other names missed this list. There was a great article right here that Josh did over at the Breaking Point site, breaking down notable teams, prize pool. Pretty sure there's 50k on the line here. The winner walks home with 25k between the team. Pretty good stuff. Has been some drama about this actually, just because some teams weren't able to attend or potentially can't attend because, as John says, he's playing with Kaiser, Cryptic and Yuli right here. And of course they've got some coaches, Vinny Gage, right? That's being Zuma's cousin. I'm sure you guys know some of the stuff about that earlier on this season. Kind of still part of the old Stallions roster. Now they're kind of looking for an org to represent at the Open event and Champs. I think an organization did come through for them. I think they only need help with like maybe a flight or a hotel room or something. Like as Yuli kind of says right here in the replies, we found an org just looking for someone or another org that would be willing to partner, and then it says that org pulled out as well. So tough scenes for these guys. Hopefully someone steps in. I don't know if Zuma wants to kind of reunite the Stallions in a way, or not reunite the team, but kind of say, okay, I'll support the Stallions for this event. That'd be rather interesting. But hopefully everything works out for these guys, because of course we want to see everyone in attendance that possibly can be. And of course Clayster is going to be going, starting to feel devious on the map again. They made that roster change recently, right, where Brack was gone, I think Mind was gone, and then they brought in Dave Paddy and Venom to the team. So Clay, I guess, is feeling confident for this upcoming weekend. They're certainly going to need to do well, because World Championship qualification in the Challenger side, as yet we don't really have any further updates on that. We don't know if the format's going to change. So as of right now, there's only going to be one team from North America outside of Toronto Academy North America that makes it through. So they've got to do well here, got to do well at the LCQ, whenever that's going to be. But of course, the New York event is coming soon as well. Thought this is pretty funny from Gersh. Freddie Krim has been appointed head of security for Major 4. Here he is. They also reveal that the rules for Major 4, of course, this is all joking, but I thought it was pretty funny. Any fans cheering for Optic in any capacity will be removed from the venue. Only XXL jerseys provided for the pros. There'll be a height minimum of 4'8" to get into the venue. So too simple and easy. No outside food or drink in the venue. Only steak and modelos will be provided. And then, the winning team of Major 4 must have a player over £300. Now, there's no way Crew is actually over £300. Surely, there can't be many teams of anyone that actually has a player in that category, right? I know that people were talking about, Boston are going to regret dropping Capstone after this one. So yeah, there can't be many players that are even in that category, right? Surely not. But I guess Krim, at the start of the season, he was doing the whole Slim Six thing, right? He was on the grind, he was on the health grind. So I don't know if that's really continued, but I thought this is pretty funny. Even London try and come back in the replies here and do a bit of a clapback. No enforcements of good chance. I thought it was pretty funny. Yet another reason why EU event to the best, and then some Londoners come out with a blimey mates, and then dental ratio. So there was a bit of back and forth. I thought this is rather entertaining. Make sure you don't get double first round in this LAN again. So that's the thing. Of course, Ravens knocked New York out of the tournament last time around in top 12, and they'll be hoping that doesn't happen again if you're a Subliners fan. You blew a 13 colony lead. So I suppose we'll leave it there for now. But well, look at the point standings, right? Of course, New York Subliners are trying to make their move. Paris Legion, unfortunately, officially eliminated now. I think this probably happened in the last weekend of matches. Like, before last weekend, they still had a chance if they won everything and won the major, but now Paris officially gone. So that's really sad to see. But Subliners, they're making a run. They're on 110, Gorillas are on 135. But Toronto are the team to note right here, because they're on 150. And that seems to be okay, right? They're sitting pretty. They're in 6th place. They should be fine. If they win one more series, they should be in guaranteed. But it actually is not quite yet guaranteed, right? 150 might not be enough, depending on how things go. Let's say Gorillas win 2 more series. Let's say, they get top 6 of the major or something. They get to 155. Thieves probably will overtake Ultra's current standings of 150. And then all you need to, overtake Ultra is one of these teams below them to actually, effectively overtake them, right? So let's say Ultra lose every single game for the rest of the year. They're stuck on 150. Thieves and Gorillas both could very feasibly overtake them. And then Subliners, let's say Subliners make the grand finals at the major. They'll then be to 160 at the very least, even if they lose to Thieves this week. So that would put Ultra in a position where they'd still lose out of champs. If 3 teams overtake Ultra, they're out. And I think you can see a world in which if they lose everything from now on, like Thieves, Gorillas potentially, and also Subliners, or maybe some of the other teams could overtake them anyway. So Toronto can't just be sitting there thinking we've locked it up, because I don't think they have as of yet. There is certainly a feasible world in which Toronto don't go to the World Championship if things don't go as well. They currently are, right? And they've been getting destroyed in their matches recently. They reverse swept Los Angeles Gorillas, but outside of that, they've been looking pretty terrible. Now, Fellow last night was on stream playing against the Toronto Ultra Academy with Scrappy on the other side, and was effectively kind of saying that, potentially Cammy might have got benched from the team. Look, this doesn't seem like it's the case, right? Because Scrappy is literally on the other team at the time, and he did go on to clarify, I think, that he was kind of joking around here, but it wouldn't really surprise me if Toronto are considering this possibility, given the fact that this current team doesn't seem to have what it takes.
Go with you, low, Carlos. Where are you gonna go exactly, Carlos?
Look up low and go top out.
Somebody just said Ultra is the same. No, it's not. I have Assault instead of Mohawk.
I'm flying out, the window, Clay, so.
Wait, and they just bench Cammy.
Wait, they just benched Cammy?
Oh.
For who?
Oh,
Scrap out?
Nah, chill, I'm kidding.
Kinda low. Low on me, Hixie dead. What's top? Top right, top right.
We saw this from Grayson right a couple of days ago where he says we can't win a chip if we can't beat these guys. He was kind of taken off on a flight or something, and then I'm sure landed to see that FaZe had 3-0 Toronto last week and was thinking, okay, well, damn, we can't win with this current roster, which might well be true. I'm not sure Toronto can win with this current roster. Yes, they won the kickoff, but that was an awful long time ago. So that's the thing. Scrappy has been a monster this year on the challenger side. It's a real shame. I think we haven't seen him in the professional circuit. If he didn't sign that substitute contract like everyone says, like maybe he does get picked up elsewhere. But of course, if Toronto want to, they could bring him into the team. I do also feel like his pressure there sitting on the bench and dominating challenges has pushed Cammy to actually be much better in the last few weeks than he has been, let's say, at the start of the season. If Cammy was still playing now like he was back in stage 1, then I'm sure Scrappy would be in the team. But Cammy has certainly improved lately, right? These are the overall season stats here for Major 3 and before, not including as of yet the Major 4 qualifiers. We can see right here, Cammy's got a 1.01, inside with a 1.04. Of course, that's just in hardpoint. But overall, Cammy has been somewhat underwhelming this year, I think, compared to his last year's performance, for example. And certainly if we look at so far in stage 4, everyone's negative. But the key thing that's really been holding them back so far in this stage is CleanX, really. Like, he's meant to be their star SMG player. He's been dropping a 0.73 in every single hardpoint they play. That's really not going to cut it over the course of, they've played plenty of hardpoint maps so far. 5 hardpoint maps so far this stage. CleanX averages a 0.73. That's not going to do it. And I think really he's kind of been the key player that needs to step up here. But at the same time, maybe there's a world in which they think that, CleanX and Bance, like, decent SMG duo on paper. When CleanX is on form and Bance is on form, they're certainly one of the best. But like, there's no real good changes they can make to that lineup, whereas you do have Scrappy on no bench, and maybe you think, okay, if we swap Cammy out for Scrappy, who knows whether the SMG duo improves or whether we just get more slaying in general, because Scrappy is just unbelievably good at this game whenever we've seen him play. And it's not like he hasn't played in the Pro League, because he did sub in for that one game he played against New York, this in the Major 3 qualifiers, when Toronto did rather well, went 4-1 in those Major 3 qualifiers. But Scrappy, this is the one series he played against New York. He had a 1.29 in the hardpoints, a 2.25 KD in the Search and Destroy, averaging 1 kill every round of those couple of maps he played in the series. Like, that's just absurd. Over 2 maps against New York, he had over a 2 KD, and then in Control, he was pretty much even, right? But that's the thing. Scrappy did play one Pro League series, because Inside had to get subbed out because I think he was unwell, and Cammy was there in the team and also was kind of doing well in that series. But I do wonder whether, if Toronto think that they can't win with their current roster of 4, they're thinking, well, Scrappy could be a key piece of the puzzle to win key series like this. That was, arguably one of their hardest series of the stage. They won it with Scrappy in the team as the last-minute sub. So if they put him in the team full-time, who knows what can happen. So I don't think they're going to get rid of Camby yet. I kind of, well, Fellow said he was joking around. I kind of doubt it's the case. But I certainly think if I was Toronto, I'd at the very least be considering it, because it's not like they have an easy week of games by any means. It's the bounty, kind of, well, some bounty matches are coming up this week. 2 of them have already happened. New York and Los Angeles Thieves won the 2 bounty matches respectively over the first couple of weeks. This week, though, we've got Minnesota versus Paris. Like, it should be a free 10k for Minnesota and the 10 points, which I'm sure they'll prefer more in terms of World Championship qualification. FaZe Surge, that's a big one. Los Angeles Gorillas versus the Royal Ravens. And then Optic Ultra to finish out the week on the Sunday is also a bounty game, right? That's a massive game for both teams, especially because these are the current standings. So that's the thing. Toronto looked good in Stage 3. They went 4-1 of the qualifiers, came top 3 at the major. They looked great, kind of back to their old form. But now Clinics has fallen off a little bit. They don't seem confident, at least the organization doesn't necessarily seem confident either, that they can actually win an event. And if they can't win champs, which of course they came second last year and wanted to win it this year, if they're not confident they can do that with this team, then they do have options on the bench. And Scrappy obviously is the more obvious option. Hicksy is there as well. He subbed in briefly and they won a series with him against Florida earlier on in the year. Does Scrappy for Cammy really improve this team? I'm not sure it does, but maybe a change of mindset, mentality, or like something like that just to shake it up a little bit could be the deciding force, because they come into this week 1-2 with a 4-8 map count, which is really bad actually, because it means that if they win just one more series here, then their map count is probably not going to be good enough to make them through to the winners bracket, right? They'll lose a lot of 2 and 3 tiebreakers theoretically based on the way that map count is currently looking, whereas Optic are in a slightly better boat right now despite being 1-3, at least on the map count situation, if Optic beat Toronto. And these are then the 2 games that Toronto play this week. So this is why I'm saying that Toronto have got to be nervous right now. So they play Boston this week, a team that their SMG duo, Vivid and Nero, are playing lights out, playing much better than Bants and Clinics are right now. And if that continues, Boston I think are the favourites in this series, right? Kind of tough to call if it goes game 5, but like I would take Boston in this series over Toronto right now based on the way they've played the first 2 weeks. So let's say Toronto lose that one, then they play Optic in a must-win series for both teams, but Optic of course maybe they bounce back, 1 extra week of practice, get Illy on full form, their hardpoint gets better, who knows? Toronto could reasonably go 0-2 this week. If they do, they start at losers in the major, and therefore if they were to go out of the major top 12, they would be stuck on 150 in a situation where Gorillas, Thieves, potentially New York, who knows, could overtake them, knock them out of champs. And even if they do make champs, like if that's the way they finish out their season, their regular season, like there's no way they can be confident they're actually going to win the entire thing. So I certainly think they'll be considering it internally whether a change is needed, because like look, it's possible to do if you want to bring Scrappy through. Of course, like at the same time he's preparing for the Boston event, he's preparing for the World Championship and Challengers. But if he does get the call up, of course he's going to take the chance to potentially not just compete in the Challengers World Championship, but the actual World Championship, and well, try and help his team get to that point. So definitely tweet your thoughts on that one. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would certainly keep it on your radar. And next year, I'm almost certain Toronto are probably going to blow this team up because they have higher ambitions than what this roster is currently doing. Just to mention this to close out the video, I thought was kind of incredible from Clayster right here. He was wondering from COD 4 in 2008 until today, how much Call of Duty has Clayster played in his life? Like, and this guy kind of calculates if he was at a full-time job level, and it's probably much more than that, like he'd be at about 50,000 hours of COD in his life. They say, what, 10,000 hours for mastery? So Clayster's mastered Call of Duty like 5 times over, and probably way more, right? Because 40 hours a week is like, that's low for a Call of Duty player, right? So kind of incredible, like how long some of these guys have played if you look at the raw numbers. But very much enjoyed your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button, tell us on YouTube, God, this is a good video, I just like you should see it as well, and upgrade the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you as always, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.